was it that John Stewart said about the 7th grade diplomacy? What was the phrase?
He said that operating on the basis of credibility is 7th grade diplomacy.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the level I'm on. I
had heard 9th grade for you.
No. You actually don't even have to get to 7th grade because that is basically international relations and politics in the Middle East. I do know exactly what Assad is thinking, and I can explain it to you right here. Because it's a mistake. It's a mistake that educated people make. They think it's more difficult than it is. It is not that hard. Well, the hard thing is figuring out what's actually going on the ground, who's doing what to whom, and so on. Once you know that, it's very simple because they want to win, right? They want to win. They want their friends to win, they want to win, and they want us to lose. And